and make a cup of smoke. Pepper. I'm the big burper.
And music.
Oh shit, we're live already?
I said Twitch, YouTube, started streaming to you, and started the music. We got this.
We got it? Oh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Everyday Talks with Aiko and Psycho. Today's topic is going to be tampons, chips, eggs, oh my. More about inflation and all the food shortages and other shortages that we have going on.
And I'm Psycho. Today is June 18th, 2022, and Donald Trump is my president. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to get right into this subject matter. What we want to do is remind you to like, subscribe, share us with your friends, and hit that reminder bell so you're notified of new content. And thank you for joining us. Psycho, take it away.
Yes, so we initially thought that there were more egg factories burned down, but we found out that that was older news that we had already discussed. But apparently tampons are going to be a nice shortage going on lately, and so are chips for your cars. Not chips as in food. There's plenty of that to go around right now. But chips for your cars, heating seats. You're not going to get them if you get a new car now because they don't have them in stock. They'll worry about that later. So if that's what you're getting your car for, don't buy a new car right now. That's all I can say. Get a used car. You actually probably have a pretty decent chance of getting a decent used car, or a very good used car if someone took really good care of it, that already has heated seats. So if that's what you're going for, look at the used car market, ladies and gentlemen, because you have a better chance there.
Well, you can still buy the cars. I guess they're coming right now without the chips. So if you have heated seats, your heated seats in your brand spanking new car are not going to work because they don't have the chips.
Yep.
And that kind of stinks because when you buy a car, you expect all the bells and whistles to work. And I don't think they're giving any discounts for the fact that they don't know when you're going to get a chip. And they don't know when your heated seats are going to work. And, although we're in summer and you really don't need your heated seats, you're going to need them here, especially up north. You're going to need them in the fall and the winter because it gets cold up here.
Right, which begs the question on if they're ever going to get them. Because the way that things are going, things have only gotten worse and worse and worse. There's been zero better, except for in that one instance when you were reading about how bad inflation's gotten. It got better by 0.02%. Yay.
And then Biden goes on the world stage and talks about how much better the economy is doing. And it's a joke. He's a joke. Everything about this administration is a freaking joke. I can't even. I have nothing nice to say. And my mama always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I've chosen to ignore that. So I'm sorry, but that demented old pedophile in the White House doesn't belong there. He should have never been there. And I don't know why he's still there, because if that was Donald Trump doing all these things, they would have impeached him. I don't know how many times at this point, probably about 12 or 14. I'm sorry, if Hunter Biden was Don Jr., if Hunter Biden was Don Jr., that laptop from hell would have already been all over mainstream media, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, the whole nine.
The whole public would have access to it too. The whole public would have access to it too. Because they would be like, hey, see how bad your president is and everything. But the reality is that even a good chunk of news companies have pointed out that, hey, the laptop from hell is real. These are real things. Yes, the president is involved in them, and so are many others in his administration and other administrations, such as Hillary Clinton's administration, George Soros, and all these other billionaires, because all they give a shit about is controlling you. Which gets into our next topic, control. For this, we're going to go into the social credit score system, which is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Australia has recently implemented this into their system. And now, if anyone says anything out of line in any way, it doesn't matter whether they take it out of context or not, they could be basically just shut down immediately. Imagine this. I've seen pictures, ladies and gentlemen.
You aren't getting your money. You're getting demerits and you're getting no money. And they're starting this in Australia, folks. I just read an article on it, I believe yesterday, And I was like, are you kidding me? And I found that on Lee Dundas on Facebook. If you want to look at Lee Dundas, she's got the info on what's going on right now in Australia. And this, folks, is what happens when you give your guns to the government. You deny yourself the right to defend yourself against your government.
Right. And again, this goes for both the left and the right. The left, I know that you guys are trying to get rid of the guns because you see it as such a massive problem. But don't worry, the government will shoot you too. They don't pick sides. They don't pick sides. If you think, again, I will say this again, and I'm going to say this every episode. If you think the government is on your side with all these promises, they're not. The moment that they get control, you are under their thumb just like the rest of us. You need to stand up and fight for your country too.
A small article came out, and I just want to kind of point out the hypocrisy in things like, first off, if we're worried about global warming and rising sea levels, explain to me why Obama's building a beautiful mansion in Hawaii and why Nancy Pelosi purchased property in Florida on the ocean, right on the ocean front. Now, if we're worried about rising sea levels, I don't think I'd be spending $36 million on a house. I'm just saying, not on the ocean.
No kidding.
Yeah, so if we're looking at rising sea levels and crap like that, explain that. But I want to go back to Obama and talk about like the recent, rules for thee, but not for me. Now, he's got a home over there on the East Coast, like Hamptons or whatever. And now he's installing 2 huge propane tanks. I think they were propane tanks. Now, I don't know, propane is fuel, right, folks?
Yes, it is.
But, we got to reduce our carbon footprint, but only if you're not an elite. If you're an elite, you can do whatever you want and fly in your private jet and have a 20-car cavalcade going to meetings about climate change.
Okay, well, let me point this out. I just looked it up just to make sure. But propane is actually also known as liquefied petroleum gas or propane autogas. Propane is a clean-burning alternative fuel that's been used for decades to power light, medium, and heavy-duty propane vehicles. So now that I have checked on that and gotten what it really is, we can't really say that he's affecting the environment with this because it points out it is considered a clean burning thing. It is propane energy is completely different. It's clean burning fuel, produces fewer greenhouse gases per gallon than diesel. So so it still does.
You charge an electric car with that. You can't charge an electric car with that. I'm just saying. Now let's talk about the electric cars because you got to plug your electric car into the electricity to charge your electric car. So let's think about that for a second. How do we make electricity? It doesn't come from the sky, folks.
No, it doesn't.
But you burn coal.
Here's the thing: if they really want to do that, well, you don't need that. Actually, you don't need that. You could have man-powered units. The only issue is it would be far less efficient. It would be far less efficient, and the person in question, you could essentially achieve that for free. But of course they don't want to, so they're not actually going to get rid of gas or anything. They're just going to raise the prices because they're making more money, and so are the companies.
Yeah, because there's more demand to plug your car in, so they can yank those prices. But I can tell you, like with Consumers Energy up here, summertime rates, because you're running your air conditioner at peak hours. I believe it's like between 2 and 7. Those are considered peak hours. Yep. It cost me a fortune to run my air conditioner. In fact, I only ran my air conditioner, I think, one day last month, and my bill for electric only, just the electric portion of my bill was $60. I'm just running fans. I don't keep my lights on or anything like that. $60 just for that. And I just have a small place. So I don't have a huge place. It's small. It works for me. However, yeah, and they're doing that. But here's the deal. If you've got to charge your car and charge up your battery to use it, you're going to be using more electricity. And to make electricity, you have to use coal or fuel, other types of fuel. So how does this make any kind of sense?
It doesn't. That's how. They point out that, like, even charging your car, that is another big point on this. Charging your car requires a diesel generator, especially to charge it at a quick rate. For some reason, diesel, I don't know the implications of the differences between gasolines for that, but it charges it faster. But you're still burning quite a bit of diesel fuel for charging your car. So everybody that's plugged into a, greenhouse perfection is a lie. It's a lie, guys. You're all plugged into some form of gas generator or something.
Right. And the batteries. Let's talk about the batteries that run the car.
Oh, the ones that light on fire and blow up in the middle of the highway? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we've got that issue. But when they die, where do they go? Where's the battery graveyard? Do they decompose? Do they recycle? No. No and no. No, you can't. They don't decompose. You can't recycle them. At some point, you're going to have a car and battery graveyard. In fact, if you look up in France, they had a whole bunch of battery operated cars and they're sitting in a car graveyard because it's actually cheaper to buy a new car than it is to buy a new battery. How does that make sense? And how is that going to work for the American poor?
Let's also point out that we have proof, and they've done studies on it, and lithium is actually worse for the environment, the way that they are utilizing it and everything with the lithium mine destroying the earth and the orbital system and everything than any greenhouse emissions or gas emissions or anything. So what's really happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is that your battery is burning off something that does affect the environment in a very bad way. And so you can talk all you want about saving the planet and being so helpful, but you're not. You're just as bad as, quote unquote, the rest of us, I guess, because we're horrible, evil people that like to drive gas-powered cars. But you also like to drive a horrible car that is charged by a gas-powered machine, so you're in the same boat.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my gas guzzling SUV, homies. I don't care if I'm getting less than 20 miles per gallon. I feel safe up in that mother lover. Hell yeah. I'm not giving up my car. Come and take it, government. Anyway, that was my morning rant. I'm all jacked up on caffeine, y'all. I'm drinking my pot of coffee so I can stay awake for a couple hours. I got the giggles. So, anywho, with that being said, yeah, we hate to pound things home like this, but honestly, y'all need to critical think. Use your critical thinking skills and try to figure out, okay, how does this actually make sense? Why are they pushing this so hard? And I'm sorry. Let's talk about eggs and tampons and chips and shortages. Shortages all the way around. And let's talk about the mysteriously death of how many cows? Was it thousands of cows?
I think it was close to 100,000 or something. I did see that.
And, a lot of cows. That was a lot of beef. It was a lot of hamburger. Thank God I filled up my freezer with beef. But what I'm saying is, thousands of cows all die mysteriously and simultaneously.
Yep, which is not possible. It's not possible. And they were all upside down on the side of the road. Someone was driving by videoing it. They're just hundreds, thousands of cows for a few second video as he drives by. And they're
killed over dead.
Yeah,
all at the same
tipped
time.
over on their side. They're upside down with their legs in the air and stuff, which means that their muscles and everything are stiff, which means that they had to have been killed in some form of fashion. They didn't just, they died. We have no idea why. Must be some unknown new cow disease. Must be something random. The sun killed them. Yeah. No. No. Somebody killed them. People.
They killed all those cows. And I'm sorry, whenever, and we've had heat waves, we've had some serious heat waves in that area that never killed any cows, not this number of cows.
Yep.
So, no, and it really wasn't all that hot. Now, you're getting the real reports are coming back. It wasn't all that hot. It wasn't hot enough to kill thousands of cows.
Yeah.
Who killed these cows? Why'd they kill these cows? Well, let me tell you my theory.
Derek says 10,000. But go ahead.
10,000 cows, mysterious, simultaneously dead. DEAD, dead. Dead as doornails. Dead.
Oh, even better. Let's point out one more thing real fast. You can't eat that meat. Even if they were freshly dead, I believe there's something about the death. You cannot eat that meat. They made it unedible. If I heard correctly, they made it unedible.
Inedible.
Whatever.
I am inedible. Got you, boo. Got you, boo.
Go ahead, though. Yeah, go ahead.
Grammar Nazi. I'm sorry, what, me? You talking to me?
Yeah, you were about to say something. In your opinion.
In my opinion, I swear, with the eggs, the mysterious fires at all these egg places and all the destruction of our food sources and our processing centers, and I've never seen anything like this. I am old, not old, but I'm moderately old. Okay, I'm not old at all, but I'm old enough to know that this doesn't happen. This is not natural. This is not coincidence. Nope. This is something bad. This is something that our government is trying to do to us to instigate shortages of food, chicken, eggs, now beef, cereal products, grains, everything that you need to eat to survive.
I just came up with a theory.
Formula.
I just came up with a theory. Check this out. Check this out.
You can't even stop your flow now.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Sorry. So everybody knows that the government is trying to get rid of our guns. Yes. Yeah. We all know that. They want a total control system. That being said, food shortages. Let's talk about how this all relates, because I just came up with this, and it sounds beautiful, and I would not be surprised if this actually happens. Okay, so they create the food shortages. You can't buy any food. There's nothing there. They offer you, in return for you giving up your guns, we will give you food for the next few months, because for some reason they have it, even though we don't. And they give you food, you give up your guns, you give up your rights. They get rid of the gun amendment, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take away our freedoms and our rights, which allow us to defend ourselves and stand up for ourselves. And the moment that they do, that's when they come in guns a-blazing and shoot everyone. Because
because according to Joe Biden and a public statement that he made that I can find and share with everybody, is he clearly and distinctly said, which he doesn't ever clearly and distinctly say much of anything, but he clearly and distinctly said that our constitutional rights are not absolute. And that, my friends, is absolutely untrue. Mm-hmm. Our Constitution is the foundation of our civil rights. Point blank, end of story. It is absolute. It's 100% absolute. Take that and kiss my arse, Joe Biden. I don't like you.
Yep.
Period.
You know, he probably would do that, though, too. Sadly.
Kiss my arse?
Yeah, he'd probably kiss your ass.
Come and kiss it right after I poo. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to say
it. I was about to make it worse. Just do it while he's kissing you. There you go.
Ooh, nasty. You know, I wouldn't let that man anywhere near me. I wouldn't let that guy pet my dog. Nope. If he sniffed my dog, I'd probably sock him in the eye. Just saying.
Probably would.
I'm protecting my little baby princess. I don't give 2 snaps. Then that old man is not coming anywhere near my little pooch. Period.
Yeah.
It's all I'm saying. I'm not all about that life.
But no, ladies and gentlemen, this Build Back Better system is more like a dig straight down into nothing system, because we're not building anything. Nothing is being built. We have riots destroying buildings, which is the opposite of building. We have food shortages, planes crashing, fires burning up, egg factories, chicken farms. Suddenly 10,000 freaking cows are dead for unexplainable reasons. I love how all of this is inexplainable. They can't even explain why the plane crashed, let alone the fires started in any of these places. This is not normal. And if you think it's coincidence, you're a moron. You are. I'm not going to take that back, because it can't happen.
Critical thinking. You got to use your critical thinking. And when we're talking about building back better, I think he's got that shit confused, because what we are building back is high inflation, high prices, the inability to pay for food and medicine if you're on a fixed income. If this is Build Back Better, I mean, holy moly.
People are going to die just from the situation we're in right now. And if it gets worse, even more people are just going to die because they can't, like you said, afford their medicines versus food. Some people really bad need their medicine just to function and eat. I can't imagine if they choose that over food.
You think this country is violent now? And you think the inner cities are violent? Just wait till there's no food. Just wait till these shortages actually hit in the communities. Just wait, because the robberies just to get food are going to be out of control. And we have enough people to defend. And now, if they take our gun rights away before the actual shortages hit us hard, That would be a whole different situation. But if we still have our guns, then there's going to be a lot of robbers getting shot up in somebody's house.
That is true, because that's exactly the thing I was about to say. They're going to rob your house. They're not going to just go after the grocery stores, because that's where the biggest riots are taking place. They're going to take that opportunity where people like you and me are running out there for food, trying to get food. They're going to take that opportunity to rob your house blind of the food that you have.
I just want to point out that they should have put this in the 10 Commandments and made it 11. Thou shalt not rob thy neighbor of their food.
That's literally in it. It's literally one of the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Period. End of story. Robbing is stealing. Stealing is stealing. Yeah, you got that's already covered. You're good.
Come from my freezer. You're gonna leave my house looking like a porcupine with a bunch of knives up in you, because that's what I got. I got knives, and I will use them to defend my beef. I ain't playing. I got beef, I got pork, I got chicken.
And you know what? Pretty soon I will have human. If you come and rob my house, I'm gonna just package you up.
Human. I can't do it.
I'm kidding. No, I'm not doing that either. I'm not doing that.
No. I'm not a cannibal.
Just based on, I think people who have been stranded on islands and ended up actually turning to that are still alive have pointed out that it's nasty. It's disgusting. So no, I don't want it. I can't know that I'm eating a human. No, that's not going to happen. But again, you will leave my house way far worse if you try and rob my house of food.
They say you are what you eat. So I guess if I had to eat a person, I would want to eat a person who ate at McDonald's a lot, because I do like McDonald's. So if you are what you eat, you should taste like a burger. Maybe.
Well, I will point out that if you season anything just the right way, it will taste like whatever the hell you want it to. Moving on, this is a real thing. This is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. The food shortages are coming and everything. I don't see why they wouldn't use the chaos of that to take away your guns, or to take away your guns before that. Because if you have no way to defend yourself, then what are you going to do? You got people coming at you from all sides trying to take your food and everything now because of the food shortages, and now you can't buy food, let alone afford it, because the prices are going to skyrocket.
Republicans and Democrats are working right now hand in hand to try to take your gun rights away from you. And there's a very few out there that are fighting it, but not enough. And I want to reiterate that their goal is to take them away before the next election. They want these gone. And here's the deal. Start voting in your primaries. Everybody's got primaries coming up. Push your people forward. Do what you got to do. And if you're in Michigan, Ryan Kelly is your man. He's beating the pants off of Soldano and Tudor Dixon. He's beating the pants off everybody, and he is being attacked by our Michigan governor right now. Vote, 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 vote. Get these yahoos out and start getting your government the way you want it to be. And one thing I will say about Ryan Kelly is he wants a citizen oversight committee. And if you guys have been listening regularly to the show, one of the things that I've been pushing for in DC is to have a citizen oversight committee in DC to stop the lobbying, to stop them from doing their insider trading and all the other crap that they're doing, all the illegal crap that they do to get rich, and to start hammering down on these people and making sure they're working for you. I think at this time, a citizen oversight committee is a necessity, and Absolutely. It should be a priority. And you should be looking for candidates who are pushing for that, because those are the ones that are going to be transparent. Because I remember Biden talking about transparency in government. They claimed Trump was hiding everything, and he wasn't. He wasn't hiding a damn thing. Nope. But what you see now is Joe Biden doesn't answer questions from the press. And if he does, they're selected questions.
Yep.
There is no transparency in this government. They don't want you to know what they're doing. Yep. That should scare you, folks. You have the right to know what your elected people are doing for you or against you. You have the right to know, and you should know.
Yes. Because the fact that they're hiding things from you in the first place, that should be just terrifying, because that just begs the question, what are they really up to? And it's just for the record, they're not exactly hiding it either. So it's pretty damn plain and simple to see if you actually use your eyes, use your ears, and do your own research. Stop just listening to the news. Stop just listening to his freaking god-awful press conferences. Oh my gosh.
You can always tell when Joe Biden is lying because he'll scream it out because he screams it out.
Yeah. If you ask him a question and he doesn't give you an answer, he will actually like tell you that he doesn't have an answer for it initially, and then if you push it, he screams at you. A president should not be screaming at and getting pissed at his people. He's supposed to be protecting us and helping us, and he's not. We have the most unconstitutional government in the history of ever, and we need to abolish the government. We need to vote people in that will properly take care of our Constitution, our people, our rights, our needs.
Do you know how to tell when a politician is lying? When they open their mouth.
Oh.
Bum. Boom. Nailed it.
It's true though. It's very true because the whole thing is career politicians should not be a thing. We've covered this. We've said this. God only knows how many times in our show so far. A career politician should not be a thing. They should be in. They should be out. 2 years max. Yep. Maybe 4 for any politician, like the presidency. 4 years in, 4 years out.
Yep. Absolutely. There should be, it's just like working at McDonald's. You're not supposed to make McDonald's a career. You're supposed to work there when you're old, and you're supposed to work there when you're young.
Yep.
You're not supposed to make a career out of it. Some people do. You become a manager or whatever. That would be there. There are certain careers that you could have in DC, but it's the same concept. That should not be your career. If you were an attorney, you should be an attorney. You should not be a career politician. We don't need career politicians. What we need is fresh people, fresh faces, under the thumb of actual citizens. No more lobbying from Fortune 500s, from big pharma, from big business, from Wally World. No more of this. They do not run this country. We do. This is a government by the people, for the people, not by the government, not by big business, but by the people, for the people.
Yes.
Period. And then I want to point this out, y'all, because, during the few times that Biden actually campaigned, he was talking about, I'm not going to raise your taxes. I'm not going to raise your taxes. Well, he certainly did. He certainly did raise your taxes because here, at the end of the day, in 2022, you're paying way more for your goods than you were paying in 2021.
Yeah, that's so true.
You raise your taxes. At this point, we're being raised. Explain to me, if the cost of gasoline is so high, why these gasoline companies have record profits.
Because it's
Explain that. How does it work? How does that work? Well, you have to have collusion between government and big oil in order for them to do that. So,
it's also this. Hold on real quick. It's also this. People are still buying gas just at the same rate that they ever were, which means that just because the prices went up, they're going to make more money no matter what. But the other thing is, the more prices higher, the higher the prices are, the more tax goes into the government, which means that, of course, it's a collusion between the two.
No, but wait a second. If they're paying more for a barrel of oil, then they should be making the same profit, not more. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, okay, so you're running a business. Yeah, it's a valid point. If you're paying more for something and you pass what you're paying on at the pump, per gallon, there should not be record profits. They should have similar profits as they had the quarter before, not these bloated profits. This is bullshit. So what that says is that they are not paying more for a barrel of oil. They're just charging you more for that. That's how they get record profits.
It also makes me wonder where else they might be getting it from at the same time. So assuming that prices, if they're still paying the same amount, then that means that we're not just getting it from Russia. Even if Russia is our primary source, that could be 51% if that's our primary source, or even 25% could still be our primary source, and everywhere else is like 10 or 11% that we get our oil from. So that's another point.
Can somebody explain to me why they're so worried about taking away our gun rights, but they're not working on inflation or the gas prices or the rising rents or the rising, they're talking about, by the way, and y'all need to be aware, they're about to raise the interest rate. And that could go very badly right now. They're doing it, and they're going to do it. Unbelievable to me. So we're over here giving Ukraine all kinds of money to hide the 40 some odd biolabs that Russia told us were there that our government denied. But now our government admits, if you check the DOD, they'll tell you we have biolabs in Ukraine. Weird. And I just want to point out monkeypox originated in Europe somewhere. Strangely enough, they can't find ground zero for that, but they can find ground zero for everything else. But not the monkeypox. Weird.
Doesn't that just figure? Which, hey, you know what makes me wonder? Maybe it actually originated where it normally does, and kind of like the whole China thing. The China virus that we had recently. Yeah, that one that no one talks about now. Weird. But yeah, someone came to America from China and brought it here. And same thing, maybe monkeypox actually started where it normally does, but someone brought it there, and then the outbreak just happened there. If they were in even a decently secluded area, and whoever they got it from doesn't really go around people, boom, there's your explanation. It did not originate in the United Kingdoms at all. It didn't originate in Europe. It actually originated where it normally does in, what is it, Africa, right? Is Russia?
Or it was released out of a Ukrainian biolab when Russia attacked.
Ooh, that too.
I mean, you got to think about all these things. Is again critical thinking. How could this have happened?
Well, hey, let's take that moment to point out that they literally have the Black Plague still. You can call it eradicated all you want, ladies and gentlemen, but we still have a vial or 2 or 3 or 10 of the Black Plague. We have the Spanish flu, all these major diseases that we supposedly got rid of. They still have vials of. They still do tests on. They still check and see how potent they are. And check this out. Our government can make them far more potent if they really wanted to. That's a terrifying thought.
Black plague is bubonic plague because of the buboes that it gives you. I'm a history buff, and especially medieval Europe, especially around the time period when bubonic plague actually hit in Europe. And it started actually down in the southern Europe on Italy and all that, and then it worked its way, through France and up into the Britain. But by the time it was done, it killed, I believe, a quarter of the population of Europe.
Yep.
Yeah. Bubonic plague was no joke. And, hygiene, I believe, played a huge issue, and starvation, because they were having weather changes. Strangely enough, they were in a mini ice age. You can look that up. When this hit, so their crops weren't growing, they were having crop shortages, so there were a lot of malnutrition going on in Europe at that time as well, because of that mini ice age, which really hit on the bubonic, and it was spread by fleas on rats. So it was transported via ships up and down the coast, which is why it hit the coast and then went inward. It's a crazy situation, but once you get those fleas on those rats, and boom, people were getting bit by fleas because they didn't keep their homes the way we do now. So bubonic plague could spread, but it's less likely because it has to have a carrier. So it would have to be like a flea. She would have to infest rats and then on the fleas. But when you look at the modern home, we don't have bugs in our home. We have sprays. We have things that kill these bugs. So I don't think that they could release bubonic plague unless they supersized it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was getting at. That's what they have the potential to do that. They can make it worse and make it transmittable through water. They could probably make it airborne. They just need to combine it with other viruses, which they do, to see how it affects them. They literally do this as a test. Well, it's for the scientific good. No, it's not. Get rid of the viruses. No. Kill them and get them gone. Don't freaking keep it in a freaking jar. That's the solution.
I just want to tell our people who are involved in these biolabs that there's a provision in our religion under and thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. And whoever released COVID-19, you're going to hell.
No, they're not. Period. Not necessarily. No.
Thou shalt not kill.
Well, no. Here's the thing: God paid for all your sins. This is exactly. I'm sorry, but this is exactly why people don't want to believe in Christianity. Right there, You just straight up tell
They're
them that
going
they're
to
going to
hell.
hell. No, you're not. If you
They're going
believe
to
in
hell.
Jesus, change your ways and repent, then he will be your Lord and Savior.
He is going to change his ways and repent. The triple masker. Oh, you guys need to wear 3 masks. That's the only way to protect yourself from COVID-19.
Everyone
sorry,
has a chance.
That guy is a demon.
Everyone has a chance, and they may have a demon in them, but the only person that can truly set them free from that is God.
Well, true. I can't tell them that they're going to hell, but whatever. I can say it. I can say you're going to hell. Maybe I'll put the fear of God in them and they'll stop. Who knows? And the likeliness of Anthony Fauci actually listening to this is extremely low.
Yeah,
but hey, Dr. Death. Stop. I don't like you either.
But yeah, so we didn't really run over it, but you want to run over the tampon shortages?
Oh man, ladies, if you have a menstruation cycle and you menstruate, get your asses out there and pick up those tampons. Get them where you can. Because there is a shortage, and I don't anticipate this is going to get any better. You should probably get about 4 to 6 months worth, and before they're out. And for those of you who aren't able to get them, there are videos on YouTube on how to make your own tampons. They're generally prison videos, but you can make your own tampons if you, in a pinch, ladies. You can make your own tampon. Mm-hmm. You have the ability to do that. Just watch. And I hate to say it, but a lot of them, because I guess in women's prisons they don't give you tampons. You can only have pads. I don't know why. But they do make homemade tampons. So if you might want to look up some tampon prison videos, because they probably can describe to you exactly how to make them. I can't. I don't know how. I'm just saying, if you menstruate, stock.
And if you don't need to buy them. That goes for all you trans women out there as well. I'm not picking on you, but if you do not menstruate, you do not need tampons right now. And because there is a shortage, leave them to the people that need them.
Leave them to the people who actually menstruate.
Yes.
Let them have them because they need them. I mean, if you feel like you need to have a menstruation, but you don't actually menstruate, get yourself a pad. Yep. Make yourself a tampon. Make yourself a prison tampon. Give it a shot. But leave them to the people who actually need them.
Exactly.
And and that's the unfortunate part, is so many people will not accept that advice. They're like, I'm going to take all of them. I'm going to wipe the shelves clear, because people are inherently wrong. And it's just not right. I'm just, it's so frustrating. I want to like people, but the more I come around people, the less I like them.
Yeah.
Anyhow. Yeah. How long have we been going so far?
Almost 40 minutes.
Holy moly. Yeah, time flies when you're having a good conversation, doesn't it?
Maybe. Yeah.
Are you like, oh, this has been an interminably long time. I don't like it. Is that how you're feeling?
Talk for years. No, I'm kidding.
Let's talk about your feelings.
No. This is not therapy session. No.
I'll send you my bill. Anyway, you guys, just, some tips and stuff, like, quit believing your government because they're lying. There's no way, and I'm just pointing it out there. If you critically think, there's no way in hell that 10,000 cows can keel over dead all at the same time. No, it doesn't happen, folks. And it doesn't happen.
Same thing with all these chicken farms burning down, planes crashing into all of these major food-producing buildings. This is not a normal thing. This is not it's just a coincidence. Whoops. No, it's planned. It is, if it is initiated, they are doing this to us, to control us.
At some point, you have to acknowledge that our food is being attacked. Our food supply is being attacked.
Actually, you know what?
Who?
Let's point one more thing out with this as well. Yes, it's being attacked, but here's what they're gonna do as well. Everybody remember how everywhere you went, Walmart, Sam's Club, Target, they would only let you buy 1 or 2 things of paper towels at max for a family?
Yep.
They're gonna do exactly that with food. They don't give a shit either. They're going to go, oh, you have a family of 10? Well, we don't care. You can buy 2 vegetables on the vegetable aisle. You can buy 1 bag of chicken of 1 pound. That's not enough to feed a family for 1 day.
They don't care. And but what remains to be seen is who is attacking our food supply and why they're attacking our food supply.
Oh, we already know who it is. We already know who it is.
We assume it's our own government.
Because it is.
That's an assumption. It's an assumption. We don't know for a fact. All we know is it's happening, but we don't know exactly by who. But we do need to discover that. We need to find out exactly why. Why are they doing this to take away our gun rights? Are they doing this to usher in the New World Order? Why are they doing this? We need definitive answers. Are we going to get them? Probably not.
Not until everything goes to shit. Yeah, we will get the answers, but not until it all goes to shit and their plan fully comes into realization.
Yeah. And at this point, guys, wake up, open your eyes. I hate saying that because a lot of people get offended by that statement, but it is time to wake up. It is time to open your eyes, and it is time to look at these things as not merely a coincidence anymore.
Yeah.
These are not coincidences. And I just want to also point out, we still have ships sitting off our coasts unloaded. Why? Yep. Why? There's no shortage of truckers. And I kind of want to point out another thing, and it's a little bit off our topic today, but I wanted to point out under Donald Trump with no vaccine, there were less COVID-19 deaths than under Joe Biden with a vaccine. I don't know. Can somebody explain that to me?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And I'm not going to go any further into vaccines because YouTube will nail us for that. So we're not going to go deep into it, but do some research, y'all, and try to figure out how that could happen. Who, what, where, why, and when. Those are questions you should always be asking. Who, what, where, why, when. Those are very important and that you can solve a mystery.
Yep.
By doing that. I've never considered myself a conspiracy theorist.
No.
I'm a realist. I like what's in my face, boom. But when you are looking at situations like this, you have to say, this is no longer a coincidence. 1 plane crashing, okay. 2 planes crashing, both into food, but then we got the chicken issue, we got the cow issue, and we got the shipping issues, we got the freighter ships off the coast not being unloaded, and we have to look at this and be like, why?
Yep.
Why?
Because this doesn't happen over the span of a few months, let alone don't forget about the 6 plane crashes that we discussed in the last episode that crashed simultaneously within 6 days into major facilities, by the way, chicken farms and other produce areas stuff, and a strawberry farm and stuff. Yeah, that's not just a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. And if you think it is, you really, really might want to rewire your brain or something, because you open your eyes.
Yeah, you want to kind of open up and kind of embrace this, where you're looking at this as this is no longer coincidence. This is something where, we're looking at this as like, wait a second, what the hell is going on here? And why is it just our food? Oh, and food for babies, but tampons. I mean, come on. There's no cotton shortage. So
That's for sure.
Yeah, there's no cotton shortage, and not that we've read anywhere. So there's no reason to not have enough tampons on the shelf for menstruating women. But when we look at this again, folks, come on, start using your critical thinking. It's super important to realize, and the more of us that stand up and say, wait a second, stop this, and start petitioning our elected officials and our government to stop whatever it is that they're doing. Y'all need to stand up, because if we keep sitting down, we're going to be on our knees and we're not going to be able to get up at all. And if they take your guns away from you, we're lost.
Yep.
Don't let them take. I don't own a gun. I don't want to own a gun. I have knives. I'm pretty good at throwing them sons of bitches. And I'm good with that. But some people I rely on, like my children have guns. And I'm hoping that one day if we ever need to use them, that they'll protect me. But I don't own guns. And if you own a gun, I'm okay with that. Do your thing. To each his own. But I definitely, as a non-gun owner, don't want to see you guys lose your guns.
Yep.
Watch your government, because they're trying to take them. I'm telling you right now, they're trying to pass bills, and on both sides of the aisle, they're okay with it because of these school shootings and things like that. And the fact is that I know that you, as a gun owner, are not going to go in there and shoot up a school. And they're assuming now, because these people did, that you will. And that's not right, because if they can take your semi-autos, they're going to take all of your guns.
Yep. Let's also remember that all of those people that did actually do the shootings have criminal records and everything already, and or had some form of like mental disorder that caused them to be insane, not think straight, and all sorts of stuff, like really bad, to a really bad level. They are all mentally ill, very mentally ill, and or previous criminals that they released from prisons.
You'd have to be to murder children. And like, what the hell? But that's the way to hit at the heart of Americans, is to hurt the babies.
Yep.
You hit at the heart of America by killing the babies to take the guns. And that's their platform. And honestly, you need to pull the platform out from underneath of them, because reasonable-minded, critically thinking Americans are not going to go and shoot up a school.
And that's exactly what they're already not doing. So
don't let them take the guns, folks, because I want you to read up on Australia. Lee Dundas, Leighdundas. Go to her Facebook. Look at what's going on in Australia. Once they take your guns, we saw Australia during the heart of the COVID pandemic, where they forced people to stay in their homes. Forced them. They were beaten. They were beaten by the police for leaving their own homes. They tried to protest, and they were beat down by their own police, and they couldn't do anything. Why? Because they didn't have the ability to protect themselves.
Yep.
From their own government.
And just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter whether you are left, right, up, down. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. It doesn't matter whether you're trans, straight, gay, bi. It doesn't matter what you identify as. They will beat your ass too.
The motto of the social credit system is, you will own nothing and you will be happy. I don't know about you, but I like owning things, and I will not be happy. And I'm going to be perfectly frank. I'm not going to submit to this.
Nope.
I will not. This government will not find me on my knees.
And you are best not to submit to it either.
I will not submit. I will leave this country if I have to. This is where I was born and raised. I don't want to have to leave. But I'm like, I'll start my own island nation and declare war on the United States. I have no shame in my game. Hell yeah. Who's coming?
That's if they even let us out of the country. No other country wants us anyway. And all the other countries, I wouldn't, at this rate, I wouldn't want to go there either, because they already have a good chunk of these rules that our government is trying to force on us. And just for the record, just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out, because all those other countries are looking at us like we're idiots. Because right now, we are. Well, when I say we are, I mean you. Because I'm not voting for this. I'm not implementing this. But you are, by voting for this. By voting for these people, you have implemented this system and this democratic bullshit in our country right now. The way that our country is going is because of you voting for this.
Our government has taken two terms that we regularly use, and they bastardized them. And those two terms are patriotism and nationalism.
Yep.
And those two terms do not go hand in hand with globalism.
No, they do not.
And they bastardized the fact that if you're a nationalist, and whether you're black, Hispanic, or white, you're automatically a white nationalist, i.e. a KKK Klansman or something like that, because you love your country. Yeah, or a terrorist. And patriotism is another form of terrorism now, according to our government. You need to be very wise as far as what this government is doing and how they're slowly but surely eroding away your patriotism, your nationalism, and turning it into a globalism. And I want you, I'm going to reiterate this. I'm going to speak it one more time. Patriotism and nationalism do not go hand in hand with globalism. And let me explain why. Globalism is one global government. Nationalism was one local national government. Patriotism is love for your national government. They don't work together. It's oil and water. They do not mix. And they're pushing us into a globalist society. Open borders. No other borders are open except for the United States' southern border. We won't take Canadians, but we'll take every terrorist from the southern border. So if you're in Canada and you want to come to the United States, fly to Mexico and walk over. Boom. Problemo el saldo. Just saying.
Actually, that goes for any country. Hey, if you want to come to America, please do. You just got to go through Mexico.
Coming tonight, there's another caravan headed for the United States. They're flowing over every day.
And if any other country hears this and wants to help America and then become citizens in America, please do take the entrance. It's right there in Mexico. You just walk right over, and then you can help us with voting and getting things properly resolved. Because, hey, they're going to give them a citizenship anyway, right? So once they're citizens, you can help us vote for the right people, and then we can kick these morons out.
Now, if Russian people decided to invade en masse into Ukraine and start settling there and colonizing it, we would step in, the UN would step in, NATO would step in, but it's happening in the United States and nobody's stepping in. Our own government isn't even stepping in. So what, again, let's critically think about this. If our own government isn't stopping this overflow on our southern border, what is going on? Why isn't anybody stopping it? Think. Use your brains, guys. Come on. God gave them to you for you to use. Don't believe the government, what they're telling you.
Just a reminder that all you people who freaked out over Trump wanting a few $1 billion to build the wall, Joe Biden, his team, and all these Democrats have already spent way more than that on giving money to Ukraine, giving themselves raises, all sorts of shit. They've already spent like 200 times the amount that Donald Trump wanted just to build the wall. It was not nearly as expensive as you think.
Our country is bottoming out into a recession. And if they do this thing with the interest rates, which I hear they're doing, that could throw us into a depression. Yet these yahoos in D.C. are giving themselves raises. And they're doing all these things that aren't conducive to stopping this.
Yep.
All they care about is taking your guns and giving money to Ukraine and giving money to everybody except us.
Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we're still in debt trillions of dollars, so the fact that we can give billions away makes no sense whatsoever.
Our debt is increased under Biden substantially. But here's my thing. They want to take away veteran benefits, medical benefits, and give them to these people who are illegally crossing our border.
Yes.
Are you effing kidding me? You want to take stuff from our veterans, those people who fought for this country, gave their life and limbs to this country, and take away their medical benefits to give it to illegals? No way. Y'all, come on.
If anybody thinks that this is okay, why don't you just go to another socialist country or another planet for all I care? Get out of this country. If you really think that this kind of stuff is okay, where you're going to destroy the people that have fought for this country and defended it and stood up for it and give it to the random ass person that just walked over the border, no. That's not how this works. If they want to have citizenship, they can come in legally. They can learn about America, our rights, our nationalism, our patriotism, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, that's what it means to be a real American. And if we get into a globalist society, oof, you're all screwed. We are all screwed.
I have a statement. You may join me in making this statement. You should know the words. And those of you listening, you should know the words. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be ashamed to say it. Love your country. Love your country so much that you become an activist for your country, because that's what we need. We need to start becoming activists and not terrorists, activists. We need to write letters because, folks, the pen is mightier than the sword. Start letting your representatives know how you feel about them taking your rights away. Start letting them know how you feel about the upcoming food shortages, how you feel about the shortages of different items, how you feel about what they're doing in D.C. or what they're not doing in D.C. Write those letters. Do
Bring
not
back the
threaten
tea
them.
parties. Bring back the tea parties. Talk about what's going on. Discuss it with your fellow man and woman,
Yep.
and find a way and make petition. Because hey, check this out. If petitions get enough signatures, they are legally bound. And
Yep.
under as long as they are constitutional, they are legally bound. So petition, get people to sign things, get people to talk to you, discuss this stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, if someone disagrees with you, move on. Don't beat them down. Don't insult them. Just move on. That's the ultimate thing that we need to start doing. People need to stop getting offended over opinions. My God, when I was a kid, shoot, people would call me stupid and everything, and yell at me and call me all sorts of names. I was bullied to death, and I would look at them and I'd go, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." And yeah, the words still hurt, but then that's ultimately that's a lie. But come on, holy crap, I didn't let it get to me. Now you tell someone that the sky is blue and they freak out and they're like, "Ah, you deserve to die. Oh my God, the sky's green. Ah, stop."
You're an nationalist and you believe in your country and you believe in our Pledge of Allegiance, but yet somehow you're a terrorist. And that's not cool. That's not cool, folks. It's not cool. Since when is it wrong to love your country so much that you want to protect it?
Yes.
That you want them to follow the laws, that you want the people coming over the southern border to do it legally. And what a slap in the face to the people who waited on wait lists years ago to get into this country legally. This is a huge slap in their face for the people that have followed the rules. And we've got rule breakers. These are law breakers. These people are breaking our laws and they've committed violence in Mexico on their way. And somebody please explain to me, when they're walking 1,000 miles, how they have brand new shoes and their clothes are clean and not any of them are in any derelict type of shape. Yep. I'm sorry. This is all formulated to bring our country to its knees, to destroy our homeland. This is our country.
Yes.
Period. And no other country would allow an invasion like this. No other country.
Just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, this is even back in the biblical times. Like, they didn't just let others invade them. They went to war over their own countries and stuff. So you can call Christians and stuff and say all you want that we are horrible people for not just letting them walk in. But they built a wall around Jericho and stuff. I mean, shoot. People came in and knocked it down and everything. Yeah, they protected their borders.
We're one of the few nations on this globe that allows its citizens to have weapons.
We're almost the only nation in this world that allows its citizens to have weapons. Every other nation only has the military. I don't think any other nation has it. Yeah.
I got knives. They're gonna come for my knives, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, if it ultimately does come down to it, I'm willing to die for this country. I will put that out there, and that means, and you people need to stand up for our country too. But I don't care if you're gay, LGBT. I don't care if you identify differently. I don't care. Stand up for your country.
Love your country.
Love your country and love your fellow man and woman and trans and everything. I know I've talked shit about trans and stuff because here's the thing: it is a mental illness. I'm gonna stick with that. It's wrong. Sorry, not sorry, but I'm not just going to shit all over you. Here's the deal. I still have friends that are trans and stuff. They know that I don't believe that it's okay. They're still friends with me. We put our differences aside. That's what people need to do. We need to do that again. How we just ultimately lost that in the last few years is beyond me.
It is absolute insanity. And these are social issues that are being used and abused. They're being used and abused to control this narrative, to force us to where we're at now and what's coming in the future. Because if you think it's bad now, baby, you don't even know what's coming. Let me tell you, because when you're hungry and you know your neighbor's got food and you don't, there you go. They're not giving you none. You're waiting for them to leave. and you're going to get their food.
Yep.
It's going to be cutthroat. When you're hungry, and when people get hungry, they get desperate.
That is true.
Hunger, fear, and hunger is a way to control a population. There are ways to control people, and this is going to be used to control you. I'm just telling you now. Plant gardens, y'all. Plant gardens. Grow your own shit. Do something. Co-op with people. Get your food. Get it, because you're going to be hungry this winter. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're going to pay a small fortune for other people's food and throw this country into even more debt and have to make deals and become globalists.
Yeah, just a reminder that when socialist and everything, really, if it becomes a thing, when it does, you guys are going to be wishing we never went the direction that you are currently voting for, currently pushing towards. Because, again, socialist countries, ultimately, they end up lining up just for a loaf of bread. And that's going to be the only thing you can line up for, ladies and gentlemen. So all of you who are gluten-free and blah, 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 you're going to have to suffer with eating gluten bread. Because that's all you're going to have available.
Good luck getting them organics, because you ain't getting it. You're getting them GMOs. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be in the near future where it's going to be illegal to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, because they don't want you to be a patriotic nationalist. They want you to be a globalist and worship the one global government.
Yep.
And that's that.
And to any Christians that do listen, worshiping anyone other than God is considered a sin.
They want you to worship Klaus Schwab. Look him up, y'all. SCHWAB, Klaus Schwab. He is immoral. He is an immoral human being, along with George Soros, and they're globalists. They want 1%, and then the rest of us will be their slaves, and we're going to be happy with what we have. What happens if we're not? I just have a question on that, because human nature is... Yeah, that's a little bit scary. I mean, that's the extreme. You could end up in prison for not being happy, being given your box to live in and your job to work, and not have any choice in your life.
Has anyone ever seen Futurama? Does anybody remember what happened in that? Like, I've only seen the beginning of it, but that sounds a lot like the very beginning of Futurama. He gets encapsulated in this frozen... one of the cryo chamber, and when he comes out, they literally scan him and go, "All right, you're gonna be a pizza delivery man." They didn't give him any choice, and they freaking implanted a chip in him. The only reason he didn't have to do that is because he found the one family that like either made the chip or something, and he rewrote it for something else. Yeah, that's exactly what we're coming to, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, isn't that a Matt Groening? Same thing with The Simpsons, how they keep predicting these weird things that are actually happening, like Trump coming down the stairs with Melania Trump. That was before it even happened. I mean, when you're looking at these cartoons, you got to remember every piece of fiction has a grain of truth in it.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder, why are they predicting these things that are actually happening? Because they are putting chips in hands in over in the Nordic countries. I want to say Sweden or Norway.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're posting it out now.
You get into your job with that. You pay for your food and stuff with that. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're Christian, you should this should not necessarily terrify you, but this should really open your eyes as to where we are in the world right now. We are in the end days, because they are chipping people, and ultimately, it's not going to be a tattoo on your hand. The mark of the beast is not just going to be some tattoo. We have technology that can scan you. They don't need to tattoo you. They're going to put something in your hand, and it's going to be buried in your muscle. They won't be able to take it out with ease. They'll be able to put it in easily.
Yeah, and their claim is that this will protect you. This is going to protect you from the scammers who steal all the money out of your account. But it really doesn't, because what it's going to do is give the government control on how much money goes into your account and how they can hit you in the social credit score. You don't want this. I'm telling you right now.
It means that when you swipe your hand instead of your card, it's going to go, sorry, you posted something on Twitch yesterday that violates your rights, so we're not letting you buy this food right now. We've put a hold and froze your account. Until you delete this post, you will not be able to do anything. And that's just a small, tiny little grain of the amount of things that you will not be allowed to do, or we will be forced to do, just in order to pay for your food, or anything for that matter.
Human nature of the average human person wants to have control of their destiny. And what we're going to be giving up is control of our destiny if we allow this to continue.
You will have no choice. You will have no freedom. You will have nothing. They will control every narrative of your life, every step you take, because they will be tracking you at every moment. You will be tracked.
Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab, y'all. Look him up. Klaus Schwab. He's a bad mammer jammer, probably as bad as George Soros. And this is what they're wanting. And I'm sorry, Biden is not a Democrat. He is a globalist, as was Obama. They are globalists. They want this because it engenders for them the elites. You got to remember that we have a class system in the United States. We don't advertise it, but there is a class system. And all of us everyday human beings, we're just the peons. We're the people that the Fortune 500 execs, the CEOs, our government, the people that we elect, we're just their peons. They get there and they don't think about us anymore. The only time they think about us is when they're campaigning. Y'all need to remember that. Critical think everything. Critical think. It's time to elect Joe Smith next door. Period.
Yep. Get these career politicians out, get them in jail, and and with that, I think that calls it for this episode because we're a little over an hour. Not too bad.
Hey, thank you for joining us on Everyday Talks with Aiko and Psycho. It was a pleasure, and we hope to see you again soon. Actually, we'll be live on Sunday evening on Father's Day. So all you dads out there, have an amazing Father's Day, and we'll be talking to you Sunday. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to like this show. Don't forget to subscribe. Share us with your friends. Come on, get that word out. Tell all about us. We're funny. We talk about the things that you're not hearing out there. And although a lot of the stuff we talk about is opinion, let's share it. Share it. And don't forget to hit that reminder bell so you're notified of new content.
And all you people have a wonderful day, and remember to keep your eyes open and your ears open and do your own research. We'll see you in the next episode.
Peace out, home slaves.